If you think your import duty rate is a fixed, unavoidable tax that you just have to accept, you are thinking like a beginner. What if I told you that by slightly changing the design of your product before it is manufactured, you could completely change its legal identity and legally drop your tax rate from 20% to absolute zero? Welcome back. Today we are talking about a totally legal, highly lucrative strategy used by the biggest brands in the world. It is called tariff engineering. Most importers design a product, manufacture it, ship it, and then ask their customs broker, "What is the HS code and how much do I owe?" That is the wrong order. Smart companies look at the tariff schedule first, find the lowest duty rate, and then engineer their product to legally fit into that specific category. Let me give you the most famous example in global trade history. It involves Marvel superhero action figures. Years ago, the company importing X-Men action figures into the United States realized they were bleeding money. Under the customs tariff, human figures were classified as dolls, which carried a 12% import duty. But figures representing non-human creatures were classified as toys, which carried a much lower duty rate, eventually dropping to almost zero. So, what did the lawyers do? They went to court and argued that the X-Men, characters like Wolverine and Storm, were mutants. They had claws, wings, and blue skin. Therefore, they were not technically human. The court agreed. By legally proving their action, figures were non-human monsters, the company saved millions of dollars in taxes. Another brilliant example is the Converse Chuck Taylor sneaker. If you look at the bottom of a classic Converse shoe, you will see a thin layer of fuzzy felt material covering the rubber sole. Why is that there? It provides no athletic benefit. It is pure tariff engineering. By covering more than 50% of the sole with a textile material, the shoe is no longer legally classified as a rubber-soled athletic shoe, which has a massive import duty of around 37%. Instead, it is classified as a slipper or textile-soled footwear, which carries a duty rate of just 3%. That tiny piece of felt saves the company a fortune on every single container they ship. But here is the critical warning. You must understand the difference between tariff engineering and customs fraud. Fraud is importing a rubber shoe and simply lying on the commercial invoice, calling it a slipper. That will get your goods seized and get you sent to prison. Tariff engineering is actually changing the physical reality of the goods on the factory floor so that they genuinely meet the legal definition of the lower tax category. You cannot just change the paperwork, you must change the product. This requires a deep understanding of the general rules of interpretation, specifically how customs defines the essential character of a mixed product. If you are importing garments, adding a specific type of pocket, or changing the percentage of polyester versus cotton by just 1% can shift you into a completely different tax bracket. If you import electronics, removing a specific wireless chip and shipping it separately might bypass a heavy retaliatory tariff. Do not wait until your cargo is on the ocean to find out your tax bill. Before you approve the final prototype with your factory, sit down with a trade compliance expert. Look at the tariff book together. Ask yourselves, if we change this one component, how does it change our HS code? Are you currently paying high duties on your flagship product? Drop your product description in the comments below, and let's see if it is a candidate for tariff engineering. Thanks for watching. Design smart, import smarter, and see you in the next video.